Hello, everybody, and welcome to Book It, Vince, the Wrestling Dream Match podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Martin Bennett, and with me, as always, is the Duchess of Dudleyville, Anthony Hall.
The Duchess of Dudleyville
the Duchess of Dudleyville. I should have said Duke of Dudleyville, but who is the Duchess? Do you remember who ran with the Dudleys for a while?
Was it one of the divas?
Yes.
Was it Stacy or Tori?
Oh, it was Stacy Keibler.
Yes.
She ran with them for a little bit. I think there was one point where she was running with them and she was calling herself Stacy Dudley, or maybe, I don't know, but yeah, that was her nickname while she was there.
Nice.
with the Dudley boys was the Duchess of Dudleyville.
Where are you now? I don't know. I hope you're doing well, Stacy.
Hope you're doing well, Stacy, whatever you're doing out there. But welcome to Book It, Vince. Every week we book a dream match in the world of pro wrestling, whether it can or will never happen. We don't know, but we're here to have some fun. So this week, we're getting into something that I have planned that I think will be fun as a quick little what if sort of dream fantasy. But we missed you last week, Anthony, because you were gone. We had Jake Martin step in.
Yes, of course. I was gone last week because I have been moving. I moved from Central East Toronto to Central West Toronto.
You moved from a really bad place to a pretty okay place.
Yeah,
so.
Really. Yeah, I've lived in basically the same neighborhood in Toronto for the entire time I've been in Toronto. So
yeah, I lived in. Yeah, we didn't know before we met, but we lived in the same building. Didn't know that, which is funny. Yeah, and that building sucked.
Not great. Not a lot of cool stuff around. But now I live in a better area where there's food all around. There's
you can go out walking at night.
Yes, a Shoppers Drug Mart is close, so I could just buy random things all the time. There you go. Yeah, and now I'm back, and we are going to be recording episodes, and I can do a digital background because I set up a backdrop that's very, very, very jankily rigged up.
hey, that's all right. This is the world we live in now. This is what we got to deal with. But
hell yeah.
Let's get into it. If you enjoy what we do here at Book It, Vince, please give the podcast a follow or a subscription on whatever platforms you get your podcast on, or come watch the video version. Make sure to follow the podcast Twitter at Book It Vince Pod, where, hey, we're getting likes and retweets from, we're racking up our, we should make how it's like on the back of like movies or books where it's like a review. We should just say Book It Vince was once retweeted by Preston 10 Vance, was once liked by Matt Hardy
and Kurt Angle and RVD. All of these it's technically true. And all these things are true.
They did and some of them retweeted our stuff. So, hey, So
was it about the podcast specifically? No. Sometimes no.
Or was it
Most
some
times
dumb?
No.
Or was it some dumb meme that we posted online? Maybe. But you know what?
Certainly.
At least we're getting seen. At least we're getting seen.
We're getting those eyeballs on the product.
Exactly. We need that. We need that demo.
Yeah. We need the demo god. We need everybody.
If we could get the demo god, that'd be great. But we're here. We're going to be doing a fun idea that I had today, because it was just Royal Rumble season, and there's particular things that have happened throughout WWE history that I always that I like, because it's fun when there's like firsts and exciting accomplishments that you never expect. So one thing that now, since there's a women's Royal Rumble, you know, we're probably not really ever going to see the surprise entrant of the woman in the men's Royal Rumble. But I had an idea for today. But first, I want to ask Anthony this. Anthony, I'm going to test you on something, which is, do you know every woman who has been in a men's Royal Rumble?
Oh.
Now, what if I could tell you that there's only 4?
That means I can get maybe 50% of them.
Right.
One, because one of them was like last year or the year before.
Yes.
And the other one is a very it's a very historical entrant.
Yes. So I guess the first thing, who is the latest woman to enter Royal Rumble?
It would be not like most girls, my whole Nia Jax.
Exactly, yeah. But in the Royal Rumble 2020 or 2019? No, 2019. Yeah, it was 2019.
Yeah.
What was it? Friggin' Nia Jax comes down, beats up R-Truth, who's supposed to be entrant number 30, takes his spot, gets RKO'd by Randy Orton, and then eliminated.
Yeah.
She did eliminate.
Yeah, I do remember her having eliminations, and I was like, whoa, damn. They're pushing Nia like crazy.
I think she eliminated someone. I don't remember. The picture here looks like she eliminated Mustafa Ali. So I don't remember.
You know, I think that's possible that she did. Okay, who else? Well, the only other one
I can give you the year for the next one.
Yes. Yeah.
2012.
Yeah.
2012.
Oh, what? 2012?
Mm-hmm. I can tell you this. You might know her. She competed in AEW for a little bit.
Oh, was it Awesome Kong?
Yes. Or in WWE known as Karma.
Yeah, Karma.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I do remember that.
Yeah, she showed up. She was number 21, and she clotheslined Michael Cole and eliminated him.
Oh, was this the year that Michael Cole, he entered the Rumble from the announce desk?
I believe so.
The orange like singlet and like the traditional wrestling gear, and it was like, oh, okay, what are you doing, Michael Cole? That's funny. Okay, nice.
The next one, so there's 2 down. Next one,
great.
2010.
Oh, I thought we were gonna go straight to 1999 with this one, but 2010. Oh God, it was Awesome Kong again.
No. She is a WWE legend.
It's Alundra Blaze.
No. She is a part of the NXT announce desk.
Oh, Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, it was Beth Phoenix. The second woman ever to be in the men's Royal Rumble. She entered in, and her big thing was she appeared at number 6, and she eliminated the Great Khali.
Damn.
Of course, you say she eliminated the Great Khali, but it's kind of tainted with the fact that what she did was she like seducted him into a kiss and then used that to get him over the rope.
Come on.
So, but still a big thing.
That's the WWE for you. You know, you have this wrestler. Their character is the Glamazon. They're supposed to be like hella strong. Why do you not just go in there and then have her like hit a crazy move and like try to bench press him over the ropes with the help of some other people, of course, because you know it's the Great Khali. He's a fucking absolute unit of a man. So you need like maybe like 3 people, but like, come on. Oh, a kiss, a seduction. Like that's
so a big thing here. Is
we don't like that.
Yeah. Well, another, not to downplay it. She did then, so this Royal Rumble was that there was a lot of dumb shit happening in 2010. me reading this article. There was stuff like,
God,
I don't even want to read it because it's so stupid. It's so stupid. I don't even want to read this, but it's a, oh, geez. But no, anyways, about Beth Phoenix. In this Royal Rumble, CM Punk entered number 1 and was beating everybody, and then Kali showed up and beat the crap out of him. But then she eliminated Kali, and then she went after Punk, got some stuff in. Punk gave her a go to sleep.
Oh.
But she actually was in the Rumble for longer than the first person ever to be in the Rumble. Both of her appearances, so Beth Phoenix was in the Rumble for longer than both of this person's appearances combined.
Yes, that's crazy. And I know for sure who this next person is, because that's the one that I was like, I know this for sure.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is the legendary Chyna,
the 7th wonder of the world. No, Chyna was in the 99 Rumble and in the 2000 Rumble. And she was only in them she entered the 99 Rumble in at number 30. And in the 2000 Rumble, she was number 17. The whole feud there was her versus Chris Jericho. And I think, and also Jeff Jarrett. This was at the time where I think it eventually either was around the time or led to Chyna winning the Intercontinental title, being the first ever woman to hold the Intercontinental title. But that was around there. But she only was in both Rumbles for like a minute each time. So, but that's going to change today, because what I have for you, Anthony, is not a versus as we normally do, but a question. What if Chyna won the 1999 Royal Rumble?
Yes. Amazing. Amazing.
And
oh, wow. Ooh.
This is going to be weird because we were discussing this a little bit before. It was 1999 was actually a pretty big year because it's one of the most famous storylines of the Rumble and of WrestleMania. So we're going to completely scrap that and throw that out. And we're going to decide our own storyline. So
we're going to destroy something that is regarded as one of the best storylines, and we're just going to fly by the seat of our pants.
Yeah. So obviously what would have happened is if they did decide to have Chyna win, they probably would have made her then face the women's champion, who was at the time Sable. That's what it says here for the 99 pay-per-view, was Sable beat Luna Vachon with Shane McMahon in a strap match for the women's championship.
Well, damn.
So that's actually pretty cool. It was probably not like what we think of strap matches. It was probably like spanking and stuff.
Right.
Actually, I don't know that. I'm not going to say that for sure. It could have been an actual era. It could have been an actual banger match. I don't know. Don't want to downplay them, but anyway.
I truly cannot say that I have watched that match between Sable and Luna Vachon.
No, neither can I.
I certainly have not.
But so, but what I think would have been amazing is you have this powerhouse. What a story to have Chyna come in, win the Rumble, come in number 30, win the Rumble, and then go to WrestleMania to challenge for the WWE title and maybe become the first ever woman to hold the WWE title ever, which has never happened after, obviously. I mean, the first woman to ever, oh no, not really the first ever woman. I don't know if this is a fact, but I know that in modern era wrestling, who was it? It was Tessa Blanchard was like the first ever woman to hold like a major men's title.
Yeah, that was like I guess must have been last year or the year before in Impact. She beat Sami Callihan for the Impact Championship.
I thought she beat Brian Cage.
Now
I'm pretty sure it was Brian Cage.
Let's go to the internets for this one, Marty. I think it is Tessa Blanchard beating Sami Callihan, and you think it is Tessa Blanchard beating Brian Cage. I'm pretty sure I know she wrestled Sami Callihan for the title at some point, but I don't know if that was the first person that she beat for it.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, it was Sami Callihan.
Hey-ya!
When was nice. I remember watching it. Oh, I think it was when was I remember seeing a match between her, an intergender match between her and Cage. It might have been something. Well, it says here on July 7th, Blanchard competed against Sami Callihan in the first intergender match ever headline a professional wrestling pay-per-view.
That was for the title, I think.
Right. Okay. Oh, Blanchard won a gauntlet match against Daga, Moose, Rich Swann, Michael Elgin, and Brian Cage to become the #1 contender for the Impact World Championship. That's what I was thinking.
There we go. Technically, we're both right in a way.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. So that would be crazy. It would be crazy
to go back and to say, okay, it's 1999. There's a lot of stuff happening because this is okay. So if you don't know, 1999 is the Rumble where Mr. McMahon won.
That bastard.
The whole storyline, and we have we're not geniuses and we know exactly what happened. We have the Wikipedia page open so that we can make sure that we're getting the facts right. There was this whole storyline of that Mr. McMahon didn't want Stone Cold to become the #1 contender because Rock was champion and he was the corporate champion, right?
Right.
And so McMahon put out a bounty on Stone Cold Steve Austin saying anyone who can eliminate Stone Cold will get $100,000. And the whole match goes on and on and on, and Mr. McMahon's being kind of a snake. He #1 and #2 were Stone Cold and McMahon. So they're in there from the very beginning. He obviously snaked around and hung around and did, whatever he could to stay alive. And then at the very end, Rock shows up, helps McMahon get Stone Cold over. And then he gives it to The Rock, and then it leads down the line to the first face-to-face match between, or maybe not the first match, but like the first WrestleMania between Stone Cold and The Rock. First of what ended up being 3, which I always forget is the case.
Wow, that's crazy to me that it was only 3, because maybe because we were
3
younger.
WrestleManias.
Yeah, 3 WrestleManias, but that feud just seemingly lasted for the entire Attitude Era. It was just those guys. And here, with my blue background, I am bringing in Chyna's appearance at the Royal Rumble as she is assaulting Mark Henry. Well,
that's the other thing too, is you look at this Rumble and you're like, there's some weird names in here, and then there's some crazy crazy name. There's crazy names in this, just to go down the line. Not gonna hang on this too long, but all right, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mr. McMahon, Golga and Draws were from. Where were they?
Is that Draws right there?
No, that's Triple H.
Oh.
What I'm trying to remember their tag. Legion of Doom. They were the new Legion of Doom.
Right.
Edge. Gilbert. Steve Blackman. Dan Severn. Tiger Ali Singh. The Blue Meanie.
Yes.
Mabel, who then turned into Viscera. Road Dogg, Gangrel, Kurgan, Al Snow, Goldust, The Godfather, Kane, Ken Shamrock, Billy Gunn, Test, Big Boss Man, Triple H, Val Venus, X-Pac, Mark Henry, Jeff Jarrett, D'Lo Brown, Owen Hart, and then Chyna.
There he is.
Yeah, you can see it in your background. There's Triple H holding Owen Hart, and then Big Boss Man's there.
Big Boss Man. And then just Mark Henry.
Well, the big thing, too, in this was that Chyna eliminated Mark Henry, which was like, holy shit. So, but it's time for us to rewrite history, Anthony.
Yes. Okay.
So I guess I'll leave it to you. You know, the first thing that comes to my mind, you know, play into the story of that there's this bounty.
Yes.
Chyna eliminates Stone Cold Steve Austin. But we want Chyna to be the face because we're going against corporate rock and the corporation, right? And I guess she was technically a heel at this time because I guess it was she with was D Generation X going on?
Yeah, it looks like from Triple H's tights that is DX colored, but I could be wrong.
Chyna came to the ring, targeted Mark Henry. Well, this is at the time of Ministry of Darkness too. So I guess technically Triple H, yeah. So D Generation X was like the corporation. D Generation X was technically a part of the corporation, which was aligning with the Ministry of Darkness against Stone Cold. A whole bunch of bullshit stuff.
It takes three stables to defeat Stone Cold or to.
I think this is then later in the year where like they like it was then like Stephanie McMahon was I guess aligning with Stone Cold, and that's when they like tied her up on like the giant Taker cross thing, and they're gonna sacrifice her, and then Stone Cold shows up, and then later like Undertaker like does the same thing to Stone Cold where he like puts him like crucifies him on the Taker cross. It's so weird.
That is so strange. The Attitude Era was truly a different beast. Truly.
But so I guess like play into this thing of like Chyna winning. McMahon then guesses that he has to give Chyna the money, probably trying to think that he can bribe Chyna into being like, well, you don't want to face, like you get to pick, you're going to go against Sable, right? And she's like, no, I want that. And like points at the WWE title at The Rock.
And then Mr. McMahon would probably be like, no. Oh God. He would probably try to like distract Chyna and then like eliminate her, but he's not strong enough to do that. So he would be like, I was talking about Monday Night Raw, Monday night after, where like she comes out, it's like Chyna won the Royal Rumble. Who's she gonna face? Is she gonna get to face The Rock or face the women's champion? But in the Rumble, I think she has to turn face in the Rumble. I think.
Okay,
like I think that's what needs to happen because she is heel at this point, right? So, I think after she eliminates Austin, it would be like, let's like say the Rumble has progressed and her and Mr. McMahon are the last two after she eliminates Austin. So Mr. McMahon like goes to like shake her hand, and then it's just like, okay, now you can just go over the rope, right? And then Chyna would like point at the title maybe, and he'd be like, no. Let's just imagine that because I think the pointing at the sign didn't occur until like the mid 2000s or something like that. But imagine if they had the sign. Yeah.
Back then, and you could
She points at the side.
She points at the sign, yeah.
And Mr. McMahon's like, of course, because you'll be facing Sable at WrestleMania. Yeah. Okay, so you could just go over this rope right here. Just go over. And then maybe she like starts walking over, and Mr. McMahon tries to just like force her over by like eliminating her.
I think he tries. Like he just it's kind of like get like a who is it? Any of the big guys getting hit with something and just like no selling it, and she like no sells like trying to get budged, and she just turns around.
Yeah, she turns around, and then the crowd is going crazy because they know what's about to happen. They know that Chyna is going to eliminate Mr. McMahon, and so she like gets him in maybe like a gorilla press and just like pushes him, and just he goes flying out, and the crowd goes wild. Chyna has become the first woman to enter the Royal Rumble and also the first woman to win the Royal Rumble. Okay, and now we take you to Raw's War.
And of course, JR and King are going crazy.
Yeah.
They're going wild.
Wow. Chyna's won.
King can't believe it. JR's losing it, going, Chyna won Rumble. And King's like, and King's saying something sexist and demoralizing.
Just bad
talking
shit.
Talking about puppies. But so yeah, on Monday night, McMahon comes down.
Yeah.
And introduces Chyna and tries to pull the whole like, okay, you won. Sure. You won. You eliminate Austin, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But you get to face, hey, you get a shot at the women's title. And that's where then Chyna is like, it just like, no, I want that. Or like maybe the Rock's there. The Rock's like says something condescending or whatever, or is just like, maybe calls out the rest of the roster saying like, can't believe that this woman beat a roster full of dudes. They obviously don't have the balls to make it in this company or whatever. Something like that. Just
because he's heel, so he would be like, can't believe you all got beat by a girl, or like something very heelish of The Rock to say. He's like, you don't have the balls. So congratulations, Chyna, for having the biggest balls out of all the men in this locker room.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And so then McMahon's like, so you're gonna go face Sable, and she's like, no, I want that, and like just puts her finger right on the WWE title on Rock's shoulder. And everybody everybody loses their mind.
Like,
and Rock is just doing Rock just goes, huh? What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think again, sister.
Yeah. You're making a big mistake. Yeah.
And maybe it could be a thing, it had some drama. McMahon's just like, no, that's not possible. That's not how it works. And then maybe like either Stephanie or Linda bring Linda McMahon into this, where it's like, no, the rules say that if whoever wins the Royal Rumble gets a shot at the world title because this is when they only had one title.
Yeah.
They only had the Intercontinental, the European, the women's, and the main I think they had the tag titles too, but like, it's like gets a shot at the world title, and so that's what she gets. She gets a shot at the world title at WrestleMania.
Damn. Okay.
And then maybe like McMahon like goes up to whoever, like Linda or Steph, and is just in their face, just blah blah blah, and then he like puts his hands on them, and then Chyna just like grabs him, spins him around, and then like picks him up again. But then the Rock, Rock like kicks Chyna in the stomach, and then just gives her a rock bottom.
Oh my god!
And then it's instant heat, just like instant hatred for the Rock. It's like, you just gave Chyna a rock bottom.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you? And she was defending Linda McMahon. She was just trying to protect somebody, and the Rock just kicks her in the stomach, rock bottom, and then like is holding the title and is like, you want this? You want this?
You'll never get this.
You'll never get this.
You'll never get this while the Rock is champion.
Yeah. And he's just posing and like yeah.
So then we have a little bit of time to fill. So like, what do you think? Like, we still technically Stone Cold is still in this universe. Technically, we could involve some of the women in this feud or whatever. Or then, like, you know, there is like the corporation. You could then have I guess Sable join the corporation. I don't know if she had or what was going on there. But like, you know, what was it?
Well, I think, okay, so if I remember this correctly, what ends up happening in the real Royal Rumble is that Mr. McMahon wins, and then he wrestles Stone Cold and has to put up the Royal Rumble title shot. So
right.
What if, because Chyna has terrorized Mr. McMahon over the last couple weeks and essentially has embarrassed him twice, if not for The Rock saving him on Raw is War during our fictional confrontation here, he would have gotten tossed over the ropes again. So he is like, he's seething. He's like, I can't be embarrassed by Chyna anymore. So he challenges Chyna to a one-on-one match where if he wins, he gets to decide who goes to the WrestleMania main event to face The Rock.
Right.
So then, yeah, Chyna is like, oh, yeah, of course, I can beat Mr. McMahon because I'm one who eliminated him. He is simply a old man. I think that would be very interesting. And then to get to that match, we can have some drama between the Rock maybe trying to sabotage Chyna so she cannot perform at her strength, her greatest strength. We could have maybe Triple H get involved as well to maybe kibosh any of those sabotage attempts. And of course, Stone Cold is still around. So what's he doing?
Well, I guess you could have Stone Cold team up with Chyna
in a tag team match.
Yeah, in an intergender tag team match. Or then, I don't know, you could have Chyna versus Stone Cold would be a pretty dang awesome match. I don't know how you would then have Chyna go over Stone Cold, or then
I think you have to protect her because like she has to pretty much win everything up until the main event of WrestleMania where she faces The Rock. Where because we have to believe that maybe there's a chance that she'll beat The Rock.
So what actually happened in real life was that Stone Cold convinced McMahon to give him a shot, and it was a steel cage match at St. Valentine's Day Massacre in your house, where Austin went to win the match after the Big Show debuted, who came through the ring's mat and threw Austin into the cage while breaking it open and causing Austin to exit the cage before McMahon.
What?
So I don't know. I don't know what then the whole. I don't know what then the whole thing with Big Show was. That's such a weird, crazy ass moment. But anyways,
that was the Big Show's debut. That was in that match of him crawling through the mat?
Yes.
That's insane. Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
I guess I guess that could happen still. But it wouldn't make much sense.
No, okay. So I'm reading more into it, and what basically ended up happening was, during the halftime show of the Super Bowl, halftime heat, that was the famous Rock versus Mankind in an empty arena match.
Yes.
Which was the last man standing. They were both counted out. Then on Raw, there was a ladder match, which Rock won with the help of Big Show.
Oh.
So he was a part of the corporation, but he ended up he didn't do it to help Stone Cold. He did it to hurt Stone Cold, but it ended up backfiring. So and then so Stone Cold beat McMahon in a steel cage match, technically, to end up taking the spot so that he could go towards WrestleMania. What actually happened with Chyna was she turned heel by betraying Triple H and becoming the newest member of the corporation. So at the time, Triple H was against D-Generation X was against the corporation. She then joined the corporation. She was teaming with Kane. She teamed with Kane to face off against Triple H and X-Pac. They beat them. Chyna then turned against Kane and reunited with Triple H at WrestleMania 15. They would both help Shane McMahon defeat X-Pac later in the night, and Triple H joined the corporation. So Triple H joined the corporation at WrestleMania 15.
Okay.
That's the other big thing. It's WrestleMania 15. What a historic night it would have been to be Chyna winning. But
yeah.
All right, we're sort of all over the place. We're just like seeing what history was and how weird and crazy it is. But so I think that you lead up to WrestleMania. So you have Royal Rumble. Chyna wins. The next pay-per-view is Saint Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yes.
What would be a great match to have here that would help move the storyline forward? So I guess technically Triple H is a good guy because DX is good. So Chyna is a face at this time.
Yeah. Oh, okay, great. So her eliminating Mr. McMahon would be fitting.
So you could have Chyna and Triple H against Rock and Sable, maybe. I don't know if Sable was good or bad at that time, but you could have something like that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that could be a good match at St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
And it fits because it's a intergender tag team match. It's St. Valentine's Day. It's the whole love is in the air, and then everybody just beats the crap out of each other.
But so I think you have to, in this pay-per-view match, you have to have Mr. McMahon come in and try to sabotage Triple H and Chyna because of the prior events that we have already established, and him not wanting to be embarrassed. But maybe Chyna does embarrass him again by maybe just like punching him in the nuts and throwing him over the rope or something like that.
I have a great finish. I actually have a great way to quote unquote finish the feud. I just thought of it, but we'll continue on forward.
Okay. So Triple H and Chyna go over at this pay-per-view. The Rock is defeated. Oh, I can't believe it. He's been beat by Chyna and Triple H. So I think we have to move forward to the following week of Raw's War, where Mr. McMahon comes out to cut a scathing promo about how he will not let Chyna embarrass him anymore.
Really quickly, just going to say, St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Your House was the only pay-per-view between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania that year.
That's great. That's fine. So we have a couple episodes of Raw is War to continue to build up to this main event.
Remember when they didn't have a pay-per-view every single month?
What a world. What a world to let things build up on TV to make people want to watch TV and the episodic programs, and then blow them off at pay-per-view, to get like a proper build and release.
Fun fact. St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Your House was the last in your house until NXT TakeOver.
Oh, which was also great. It was like
21 years later.
That's amazing. Yeah.
They didn't do In Your House.
NXT in Your House was so entertaining. It was truly enjoyable, and I hope they do it again. Like with a different
NXT bringing back all the old pay-per-views is great. Like we're recording this just before NXT does Vengeance Day, which is Vengeance, and I think it's just Vengeance. They're probably just calling it Vengeance Day because it's happening on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool if they brought back like No Way Out, Judgment Day, Armageddon.
Great Balls of Fury.
Stomping Grounds. Okay.
Cyber Sunday.
Okay. Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday would 100% be the best thing to happen during this pandemic.
Yeah.
Because having people vote on what's going to happen, who fights who, that'd be awesome. Fan controlled wrestling would be so cool. Anyways.
Yeah.
So we're leading up to WrestleMania.
Yes.
The McMahons the corporation has not been able to stop Chyna. Not yet. And maybe there's maybe there could be a big corporation versus DX match.
Yeah, I like that.
Or it's
maybe it's like a battle royal where they just.
I almost thought you were going to say. I thought you were almost going to say backstage brawl or like a parking lot brawl. That'd be dope.
Oh, that's better. That's way better. Yeah, let's do that.
Imagine it's like a 4v4. It's Chyna, Triple H, X-Pac, or maybe it's well, Chyna would Chyna be involved, or would it just be Triple H, X-Pac, Billy Gunn, and Road Dogg? If you replace Chyna, who would you replace in that scenario?
Yeah, well, I guess I'd probably put in. Yeah, because
I like all the other members had feuds during that time. Like I'm looking at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and it's like, what was it? Billy Gunn was feuding with Tiger, Ali Singh, I think Billy Gunn. I think actually I don't know if Road Dogg was. So okay, so we could say it's Billy Gunn, X-Pac, Triple H, and Chyna versus who was in the corporation at that time. You got obviously The Rock.
Yeah,
that'd be a big one. You could have Shane McMahon, Big Boss. Oh, here's all the members. Ms. McMahon, Shane McMahon, Big Boss Man, The Rock, Ken Shamrock, Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe, Tess, Kane.
Well, I think Mr. McMahon would probably want to. I think he sets up that he wants to challenge Chyna on a special episode or a episode before WrestleMania to this match where he can win the WrestleMania shot again, or he can win it and decide who wrestles The Rock.
Right.
So then to sabotage Chyna to make sure she's injured, he books this corporation versus Degeneration X
street fight,
backstage brawl street fight, and puts the biggest dudes in the corporation into the match. And he
Gerald Briscoe, Pat Patterson.
no, not the old guys.
So
it would be
Test,
like Test,
Ken Shamrock,
Big Boss Man,
Kane. Oh yeah, and he protects. Yeah, Rock's not in there because he's protecting Rock.
He's protecting the champion. Yeah.
So it's for the biggest dudes in the company versus DX
with Chyna.
Well, Chyna was in DX.
Yeah. So somehow, some way, I think D-Generation X wins this match.
Oh yeah,
because they have to. And Chyna gets some cool spots of like maybe hitting the Big Boss Man with his nightstick or something and like knocking him out. Maybe she like power bombs Test through a table or something. We gotta make her just look super strong.
I'm looking up what was Chyna's finisher. Finisher and signature moves: pedigree, powerbomb, DDT, gorilla press slam, low blow, low blow. So his signature move. Oh, nickname was Ninth Wonder of the World. Right, it was ninth number, not right. So she could pedigree. This is what I'm thinking. Yes. She pedigrees Test.
Oh yeah.
On top of a car.
Oh, huge. Yeah. And then she would hit Bossman with the nightstick, knock him out. That would probably be near the end of the match.
Yeah, and you have Billy Gunn and X-Pac there as like they get some good moves in, but they're like there to make the monsters look like really powerful, like getting choke slammed.
Yeah, they're absolutely there to get their asses.
X-Pac goes to try to choke slam Kane.
Yeah,
and Kane just fucking throws like into a dumpster.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, he's gonna chuck him into a dumpster for sure. And I think Ken Shamrock probably just like ruined somebody's ankle, just like ankle lock, be like using a chair, like, like just like wrecking maybe Triple H's leg, just like ringing it in. Okay, what were Chyna's finishers again? Please tell me. It starts with, of course, the low blow.
No, that was one of her signature moves. But her finishers were the pedigree and the power slam and choke slam. So.
And the gorilla press? Or is
and gorilla press, yeah.
Okay, gorilla press. Okay. So, all right. I think, she has to... I think the Test pedigree onto the car is what ends the match. I think that's the final spot. Mm-hmm. So, after all the hijinks, and since Triple H can't do the pedigree in this match because he's been incapacitated by Ken Shamrock with the chair ankle lock, then it is only fitting that Chyna manages to do that and hits that move and everybody goes wild. And it's 1, 2, 3. And Vince McMahon's plan to stifle Chyna before their big match together goes awry. It has failed.
So would the McMahon match be a cage match? Like just to help tie it into what actually happened?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right.
Yeah. He's like, nobody can escape.
I'm just like seeing the idea of like McMahon like being like, yeah, I'm locked in a cage with Chyna. Like the instant regret would be like they lock the door. It's just like,
yeah, his facial expressions would be the best because I think.
And then he tries to run to the door. And he's just like, you unlock that door. He's like yelling at the ref, like, unlock that door. And she like just grabs him by like the belt and like hucks him backwards and like
back into the ring.
Him.
Yeah. And I think the reasoning behind him wanting it to be a cage match is that so DX can't interfere because he knows he's like, oh, Triple H is going to interfere. Like Road Dogg and Billy Gunn are going to be annoying, and X-Pac is going to come try to do some fuck shit on onto me or whatever. So he's like, of course this is a great idea for me to be in a cage match. And yeah, as soon as the cage match starts, the door closes and the referee locks the lock, he is in ring looking at Chyna and just like she
definitely
like, does, like her fist thing, like
Yeah.
And he was just like, no, no.
Definitely like, definitely would be like a main event for Raw that is just fun and silly and weird and goofy, but it's just like more just to make you like love Chyna.
Yeah.
So,
and it's good because it helps her go over and like look a bit more strong as we approach the WrestleMania main event. This historical WrestleMania 15 main event between Chyna and The Rock, Corporate Rock.
So I have a finish.
Okay.
Obviously, the one way we could go is that Chyna wins.
Yes, we could do that.
Wins the technically WWF, but the World Championship. Crazy moment. WrestleMania 15. Won the Rumble. Beat The Rock. Is now the first ever woman to hold the World Championship. How long is she going to hold it for? Probably not that long.
Yeah.
Or she gets screwed over.
Yep. Okay. Now you're talking. What's going on here?
She gets screwed over by Triple H, who has now joined the corporation.
Oh, no. No, Triple H, no. Okay, yeah, let's book that. I think that makes more sense.
In a perfect world, in an amazing, incredible world where everybody at the time of the Attitude Era had equal opportunities and they were willing, and the company was willing to just do whatever it was because it could have been crazy possibilities, I would have Chyna win and be the first woman to ever hold the WWE champion.
It would be magical. However,
in some reality, probably would never happen.
And we're here for entertainment. With these big moments are amazing, but the drama. Oh, damn.
Triple H comes down and causes her to lose. And it's now, Triple H has joined the corporation, and it's just the biggest heartbreak, and it instantly makes Triple H probably the biggest heel in the company. One of the biggest heels in the company. Heel heat.
Massive heel heat. Yeah, I think the match is looking pretty competitive. The Rock actually has not been able to stifle Chyna's offense. I think we got a low blow the Rock. Absolutely, we had to low blow the Rock. And
at one point, and it's like, and you think he's gonna get pinned, and he kicks out, and everybody's like, oh my god, I can't believe it.
He goes for like the people's elbow.
Rock sells everything that Chyna's doing, because Rock sells
big boot.
Rock sells the best. He makes everybody look like they're the most powerful person in the world. And like Chyna gives Rock a choke slam. He like hits, and he looks like he's dead. Rock, like, Chyna gets Rock into like a pedigree, and then he like flips her like back, body flips over him, and that's where he does like the people's elbow. Chyna at one point gorilla presses Rock.
Yeah, because that would be a huge WrestleMania moment. Is like she just like picks him up, and it's just like,
everybody's cheering.
So loud. He's like, holy crap. And then she just like drops him. And of course he just like splats and like does like just very extra movements of being like, oh God, and flailing his arms around and his legs.
Is bewildered and just like, just at her sheer strength. She's just like, oh my God. Oh my God.
He's like trying to get strikes in, and she just like blocks them with her hand.
Just like, that one image of like The Rock completely like bug-eyed, just like that. Like, it'd be that moment. But so then the finish. I think it's this thing of like, obviously people, it could get screwy, but I think what would probably just be the bigger moment would be either Triple H does something to screw her over, or Triple H screws her over on purpose. I think no matter what's on purpose. What I mean is like indirectly does something or directly does something. So like
I think it's direct. It has to be, because if he's joining the corporation, it has to be premeditated.
Yeah. So probably then maybe The Rock like grabs the WWE championship and like tries to take a swing at Chyna.
Yeah.
With it. And like the ref either catches it or he misses. Triple H then comes down. The ref's distracted with The Rock, or the ref got hit. Maybe Chyna misses and the ref got hit.
Yeah.
It's Earl Hebner. He gets hit. He looks completely dead on the ground until he has to make the count.
Yeah, and he somehow summons all of the energy that he's ever had and is just normal again.
But so then it's like, the ref's out. The ref's out. And then Triple H comes down, looks like gonna help Chyna, grabs the WWE championship, and then smokes Chyna in the head with it.
Yeah, or instead of the championship spot, because The Rock has already hit Earl Hebner, so he just like tosses the title to the side. And then Triple H runs down. Oh, actually, no. This makes sense. If he hits Earl Hebner and he has the belt and it looks like he's going to hit Chyna, and then Triple H runs down because he's going to, everybody's like, oh, of course, he's going to like jump in front of this, or he's going to help Chyna beat The Rock.
Yeah, try to give The Rock a pedigree or something.
Yeah. So then The Rock turns around and is like running towards the ropes, but then stops. Triple H slides in. The Rock turns around, hits Chyna with the belt. The Triple H puts her in a pedigree, hits the pedigree, and then The Rock is like shocked because he's like not expecting it. He's like, what? Wait, what? And then The Rock covers Chyna for 1, 2.
Yeah, so it looks, it's like, Rock comes, Triple H comes down, Rock's standing there like, oh shit, he's gonna come after me. And
so he like has the belt kind of in like a position ready to hit.
And then
Triple H as he comes in.
Hunter just turns it looks like it's like, oh, it's 2-on-1. Turns to his side, kicks Chyna in the stomach, pedigree, rolls out, arena full of boos.
Yeah, boo. And The Rock just he still has the belt and just pins Chyna with the belt.
Yeah, then Earl Hebner does the slowest 3 count.
And that's it. That's the end of. Yeah.
Rock is still the WWE champion.
The Rock retains.
Biggest. It's like, is this the next screw job?
Really though.
And then it's this whole thing between Chyna and Triple H would be awesome.
Yeah. And then it sets up like Stone Cold has kind of been away from this storyline in our fictional Book of Vince world. So eventually he could confront The Rock the following the Raw after Mania and say like, this is what you did. You had help from Triple H. You're not a real champion. Yeah, you're just a bitch. Like WWE and Attitude Era love just using that that slur in.
Well, it's back.
It's not really a swear.
It's back now. Bitch is like their favorite word.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, you can beat Chyna by yourself. One of the strongest wrestlers in this locker room. You needed help from Triple H. You're not a champion. You're just a bitch. And then everyone's like, whoa. And that, of course, leads to a Rock program with Stone Cold, as everybody wanted, as everybody is familiar with. Yeah. And then Chyna and Triple H.
But I mean, like, just the imagery and just the idea of, like, first ever woman to enter the Royal Rumble, wins it, goes on the WrestleMania, main events WrestleMania, could win the title.
Yeah.
Like, that's just such a cool idea. And like, it'll probably never ever happen, but it's fun to think of like, man, what if, you know, is a woman ever going to hold a men's title ever again? Maybe not. Like, it would have been it would be, I still think honestly that there should be, a woman should win the US title or the Intercontinental title at some point again.
I think WWE,
in AEW, there should definitely be a woman should definitely win the TNT title at some point. I think that would be an amazing moment.
Yeah. And I think WWE is just a little bit hesitant to do intergender matches just because of like the optics of it. But I mean, they've been happening in indie wrestling for forever. Like,
there's some
of our favorite wrestlers have, some of our favorite wrestlers now have been in like crazy intergender matches, like, and they've been like super entertaining. Like Chris Statlander's been in a shitload. Like,
not that this is it's a recommendation, but it's not the recommendation for this episode. Cedric Alexander versus Candice LeRae in a hardcore intergender match. It's wild. It's a wild match. It's
oh my god.
It's a little hard to watch, but it's so good because they are beating the ever living shit out of each other.
And I love the lumbar check as a finisher.
Oh yeah.
And that is the best and most savage lumbar check that I've ever seen. Yeah. Like Candice LeRae goes flying into a different atmosphere. It's brutal. She's like, oh my god. Yeah.
But so I thought of this idea because I just thought of like the tagline of what if Chyna won the Royal Rumble? But you know, I think that intergender wrestling, you know, some people probably don't agree with it, but like I think that it's a fun way of storytelling, and you know, wrestling is like, if we can believe that dead wizards and boogeymen exist, then why can't we see a world where a woman can beat a man? Like, you know, it's that sort of thing. But
and they're all like high level athletes, and especially now, like the athleticism of female wrestlers compared to male wrestlers, like they're not far off. Like,
it's just getting away from that whole like idea of like, well, I don't want to see a man beat up a woman on TV. And like I completely understand it. It's like, it's a very specific way that you have to do it to then like, well, if you're on the fence about it, I would highly suggest watch like intergender matches. There's a bunch of free ones on YouTube that you can watch from indie developments like PWG and all that. And like, watch those, because those will change the way that you think about it, just because it's like it completely, the idea of the gender completely disappears because they just wrestle each other like they're equals, which is awesome. It also depends on the story. It depends on the story.
Exactly. Because the storyline with like Carmella, Reginald, and Sasha Banks, like you have this like kind of pesky Somali man who just does backflips, and of course Sasha Banks is gonna beat this guy. Like, so it makes sense sometimes.
It all just depends on what the point is and if it validates it being there. But I can honestly, if like the way I would probably book a storyline is literally what we did here, where it's like, it's a woman who's strong, powerful, dominant, and just wants the title. Like I could see Jade Cargill. The one thing is we haven't seen her wrestle. That's the only thing that bugs me about her in AEW is that we haven't seen her wrestle 1 second. But if she is really good, she could be someone that I see like goes up against like a face TNT champion and goes, I want that. I don't care what you say. I want that. I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm better than you. I want that.
She's built like Chyna. Like, if you see her like her fitness pphotos, she has just like crazy huge muscles.
She literally scares me. Right. She literally scares me.
I was like, you could definitely decimate like Sammy Guevara.
Oh yeah.
Like,
but
so we'll see. I'm interested in that match. I'm interested to see like how where she is like in ring wise.
Yeah. And the match we're talking
Shaq, like
yeah, the match we're talking about is Shaq and Jade Cargill versus Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet. So it'll be interesting. But I guess that's our dream match. You know, Chyna winning the Royal Rumble and going to WrestleMania. Now let us know what you think. Do you think there could be an instance where a woman challenges for a world title someday? Or, you know, if you were to pick a woman to win the men's Royal Rumble, who would it have been in history? So let us know that. Next, we go on to our question of the week. If you want to leave us questions that we answer here on the podcast, you can do so by sending them to us online or leaving them on our website, unknownairfilms.com/bookitvince. And this week, the question is, we're just going to use the same question from last week because it was a fun discussion that I had with Jake Martin, special guest, which was just, what is your favorite wrestling term? And because I figured I'd ask it because you didn't get to say yours. So we'll get to hear what you think and we'll get to talk about that. Last week we mentioned marking out, also mentioned heat, getting heat, generating heat, all that stuff. What about you? What's your favorite?
Those are all good terms, but I think I like spots. I like work rate is an interesting one for me.
Work rate is a great one.
Spots and work rate kind of work together in a way. And
so spot means, if you don't know what a spot is like a moment where, like a moment within a wrestling match, or like just a big moment. It basically means like a big moment, like Undertaker throwing Mankind off of the Hell in a Cell. That was a big spot, you know.
And usually, a spot is like a high risk maneuver or something that is not typical in a match. Like it's like a heightened moment where the performers tell the story by doing something crazy, essentially. Yeah.
And then work rate is work rate. Work rate refers to, like, I guess just it sounds like what it is. It's like the rate. It's the rate at which someone works. It's how much effort someone's putting into their wrestling. Like someone like Daniel Bryan has a lot of work rate because he's high energy. He puts himself fully into the match. He puts other people over. He goes full energy. It's clear that he's not, lazy or just there for like 5 seconds or any of that stuff. So like, it's the same thing where it's like, a lot of wrestlers get the term workhorse, and that's because they're there every single week. They're in matches every single week. They're proving themselves. They're doing so. Yeah, work rate is a great one. Does this guy have work rate? and
it's like, it's basically, if somebody has a high work rate, they have like large and wide and very impressive like move set. They are able to tell like multiple different stories. Like work rate also is essentially just versatility.
Yeah, that's true.
And like being able to basically go up against any wrestler and make somebody look good. Like Daniel Bryan's a great example of somebody with a very high work rate, like great wide move set, a lot of simple moves, but are really good. And he's amazing at putting people over, like we saw with Cesaro on SmackDown like a couple weeks ago. And it's storytelling, the ability to tell a story with anybody, no matter who it is. But then there's low work rate guys that are also really entertaining. Like,
no, it's all about the spectacle and what it just depends on the person. It's like, what's Brock Lesnar's big thing? He doesn't have a high work rate. He's there to do spots. He's there to do big moves for 5 minutes and destroy someone, or that's literally what his purposes, and that's okay. But there are dudes who put their whole selves into the art of wrestling, and that just shows like how much they're wanting to work. So no, that's a great one.
And then again, an addendum to Spot is Spot Monkey, which is hilarious. Oh, my background is falling down, which is funny because Spot Monkey is just somebody who does a lot of different hilarious or high risk spots, and like most of their matches are known for being just like high risk spots. And
yeah, it's like it's like all you're good at is like flips and stuff, and but a lot of high flyers are called that because it's just like, oh, your match is jump off the top rope, flip off the top rope, dive, like all that stuff. But it's it's kind of like a Spot Monkey, kind of like a negative term. More or less used against people that like that sort of wrestling where it's like all they do is I think I heard the term. I forget what it was. It might have been on AEW's podcast. I forget who they were talking to. Might have been Marco Stunt, where they're talking about like, oh, you're just a GIF wrestler. Like that started trending where it's like, oh yeah, your highlight reels are just like, all you can do is just like do a spot where they make a GIF out of it and that's it. But it's like there's a spot for that in wrestling. There's a spot for the people that can wow you with just like doing something that no one else can. So, but cool. If you got any wrestling terms that you love, please let us know either on the comments of the podcast or online. And to close out the episode, Anthony, what is your match recommendation for this week for people to go out and check?
Oh crap, I didn't even think about one at all.
Do you just want to say the Candice LeRae Cedric Alexander one?
No, let's just say like watch the 1999 Royal Rumble.
Sure,
like
there you go.
watch Chyna eliminate Mark Henry and then immediately get eliminated by Stone Cold.
Yeah, it's great Royal Rumble.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, do that. Watch out.
There's a lot of like C-list names and then a lot of big names that like, whoa, that's crazy that this person was in there. Like the Brood was in there. Like Edge and Gangrel were in there. Like DX was in there. Friggin' Owen Hart. So
pretty crazy.
So yeah, sure. Go check out.
Watch the 99 Rumble. Let's like
watch Vince McMahon win.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Greatest heel of all time, Vince McMahon.
It's very true. All right. Well, there you go. Thank you so much for checking out and listening or watching Book It Vince this week. As always, please go follow everything that we do here at Unknown Air by following us online at UE_films. You can follow myself on Twitter and Instagram at Barton_Minute. You can follow Mr. Anthony Hall
at Hall and Jokes on Instagram and Twitter.
And please check out the podcast's Twitter over at Book It Vince Pod. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Anthony, for joining me. And
oh yeah,
please go watch some wrestling. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Be safe. And do this, but don't say the thing because it's copyright.